everyone. Thank you so much for sticking around. I thought I would be looking at an empty room and people half asleep. That doesn't seem to be the case. My name is Alessandro. I'm the VP of Data at Preply. I would like to start with a question today. So please, raise your hand if you use data at work. You do? Hold it. Hold it. All right. Now, you keep your hand up if you think that you have everything you need to do your job. Aha. Okay, so today you're going to work a little bit on that, with your permission. Just 2 words about me, real quick. I am a business intelligence freak, and I've been doing BI and data science for the past 20 years, and I loved every minute of it. What I particularly like is to go into small, medium businesses, like Series A to Series C, and take over their data team and scale their teams and infrastructure. I've done so at companies such as Typeform and MoonPay, and each time I learn something in the process. So I would love to share my learnings with you today, and this is what this talk is about. The last company I joined is Preply. Preply, we are an online marketplace for language learning. We connect hundreds of thousands of students from all over the world with over 30,000 bookable tutors or teachers. And we connect them online so that they can take classes, mostly languages, while we provide all the infrastructure such as payment, booking, video conference, and everything they need for this experience to happen. Okay? I'm loving Preply. It's a spectacular company. Please do check it out. So before I get into the technicalities, though, I want to take a minute to have a reflection on why are we doing this? Why do we need to build a data infrastructure? And it's very important that we don't lose touch with that objective. Okay? So the way I decided to shape it, you can shape it whatever way you want, is by creating a vision for our team. And this vision is about driving Preply to make the best decisions for our learners, our tutors, and our business. We have a few pillars. So the first I already mentioned, building a data culture across our organization. Then I will tell you a little bit more what I mean by that. Number 2, an outstanding learners and tutors experience, which means gaining a holistic understanding of our customers in any respect and leveraging this understanding to improve their experience. Number 3, direct business impact. This refers to all those, again, data products, models that we can build and can impact the business directly. There are also 2 more very important pillars, which is how we deal with our stakeholders and the relationship of business partnership that we want to create and live together with them. And the other one is our all-star team and execution. These 2, just for today, they're very important. I'm going to put it on hold because I promise you that I would focus on the techie stuff. And you're probably just a bunch of geeks, just like I am. So I'm going to skip all the other stuff over there. Now, what should a data architecture enable then? When I'm talking about data culture, what I mean is that we need quality data that you can trust, scalability in your data warehouse. You also need premium self-service analytics. And I will explain in a minute why this is so important to me. You need people to reach complete autonomy when consuming this data, meaning that they also have to be sufficiently literate and motivated to use this data and use those insights to impact the business and the customers in their day-to-day, every day. We need excellence in insights, because otherwise they're not going to feel compelled to pursue them. And eventually, democratization. And we also need a whole other bunch of stuff. We need forecasting, we need measurement, attribution, incrementality, performance monitoring, alerts, you name it. So all of this is what it takes to drive a data culture across an organization. Number two, again, data products. We have two types of data products, like the ones that are like reports and dashboard, equally important. But I want to put a focus on those kind of data products that impact the business directly, as I said. So casual contribution to the company goals and measurable outcomes. These are, for example, our search and ranking algorithm or a price recommender. This is impacting the customers, their experience, in our case, finding the best possible tutor, and in turn, the business. Last but not least, this unified user knowledge, which is not only reaching excellence in model and reports, but it's also the fact that every single golden nugget of knowledge that we gather around our customer, we must be able to put them together in a cohesive picture which is accessible to everyone, like an actual searchable knowledge base. So all of this is what our data architecture is meant to produce for you. It's not an easy task. Where shall we start? Yeah? So I'm going to share some principles with you. Principle number one that I am extremely passionate about, a cornerstone of a successful data infrastructure is a quality data warehouse, not a data lake, which is a great tool, not a delta lake, not a bunch of files thrown into a bucket. No, not that. Don't get me wrong, this is very useful, and it's part of our architecture too, but it is not a data warehouse. Likewise, not a NoSQL database, for the love of God. Well, actually, I'm very grateful for all these people who decide to build their data warehouse on MongoDB, because then they have to call me and pay me a lot of money to fix it. So it's good stuff, okay? But you don't do that, okay? You just don't do that. Why? Because it's for developers, it's tempting. For engineering, everything that you throw at Mongo or Elasticsearch is going to take in. But then guess what? When you try to aggregate a scale and do complex calculation, it's not going to scale. Again, don't get me wrong. Excellent tools, fantastic tools, just not the right use case for this. Number three, traditional database. Yeah, that's what we used to do 20 years ago. We would build data warehouses on SQL Server. You can still do that, but why would you if you have distributed columnar databases? And that's the one way to go. My personal choice is Snowflake. BigQuery is just as good. Amazon Redshift, decent enough. It was the first one, my first love, but now it's been left behind, in my opinion, a little bit. I also put in the picture ClickHouse. ClickHouse is technically a distributed columnar database. It's open source. It's very powerful, but it's not for data warehousing. It's more suitable as a backend for data application. And I'm never getting tired of saying this. We did not build data warehouses for 30 years because we are dumb. Right? So every week I have to see a new BI tool and it said, oh, you don't need to do that. You just click a button like powerful analytics at your fingertip. BS. No, that doesn't exist. Principle number two, different tools for different needs. That's another one. Like I am sorry now to give crap to the very same vendors that I use and adore all the time, but there is not one tool that fits all. You can do data science on Snowflake, yes. Okay. You can do data warehousing on Databricks, yes. The question is, why would you? You have a tool that is specialized and does the best job at the task in hand. So choose every tool for their own purpose. There is no column here that is completely green, right? So you need to use a combination of tools. So my recommendation, the best tool for each job. Most of these are tools that are pay-per-use, and therefore, if your analysts are using one, while they're using one, they're not using the other. So it's not like by introducing a tool, you double your budget or your complexity. Also because most of these tools are SaaS. Therefore, like deployment is fairly simple. Principle number three, buy if you can and build if you must. If you can, I'm very lucky at Preply, we have just the right amount of data, enough to keep it interesting and not too much to make it not viable to use SaaS tools. So we use SaaS everywhere we can. Number 4, striking the right balance between safe bets and innovations. So in our architecture, we use tools that are very, very established. I mentioned already Snowflake, now Looker, Databricks, Amplitude, but we also experiment with the latest tools. You're going to see Monte Carlo here. Yeah, they have a stand over there. You're going to say, why are you saying Monte Carlo is not an established tool? Yes, because when we started talking to them, they were in alpha. Right? We're also talking to Validio, who are coming out now and a very, very strong player over there. And we're talking to Cubist, who's the newest kids on the block. Right? And it's very important that you start to talk to these people soon, because you can build very strong relationships. Okay? And I can prove that to you, because we have Paul from Cubist sitting over there, Sarah from Validio sitting over there, and I'm pretty sure I have some Monte Carlo folks somewhere. There you go, Karthik, my friend. Principle number 5, super important. You need the same data everywhere. That's why I called like an integrated infrastructure. So what we use in My Delta Lake, then we bring in Snowflake, we process, and then we bring it back, our aggregates, to the Delta Lake. So likewise, our tracking events are the same ones that go into the data warehouse, into the Delta Lake, into our own experimentation platform, and in Amplitude for product analytics. It's the very same data that goes everywhere. Number 6, a centralized semantic layer is a must, because we can centralize the governance in there. And right now, I see more and more instances of tools that are bringing this away from the BI tools up the stream directly into data warehousing. This is the future. You want to jump on top of it, because you can define unique business definitions, and these are going to be the ones that are going to be spread across your entire data ecosystem. Number 7, possibly the most important. If your business users rely on a data scientist or analyst to write queries and return them data, you are going to fail. Because if they're smart, as soon as they come back with an answer, they're going to have 10 questions more. As soon as they come back with 10 answers, they're going to have 100 questions more. Put 10 analysts in there, 1,000 questions more. It will never scale. People must be completely autonomous, or as much autonomous as possible at answering their own questions. Train your people for the same reason. Once you put this self-layer in place, they must be literate enough to make their own analytics. And for this reason, we started what we called Preply Data Academy. We have structured courses. We train the hell out of these people day in, day out. We onboard them. We have offline material. We have courses. We have videos. And it sounds like a lot of work, but to be honest, you can put the basics in place probably in less than a quarter, and it's definitely ROI positive. Because then your people, every single minute, then they're not there typing miserable SQL while wanting to hang themselves, they can find time to be proactive and do prospective work, investigating the business and generating business opportunities to then pursue and persuade your business stakeholders to act on them. Putting it all together, this is our data science and BI infrastructure. It's using more or less all the tools that I told you before. As you can see, big emphasis on integration, same data everywhere. Huge emphasis on governance, centralized governance. Huge emphasis on self-service. Huge emphasis on the latest technology. Be daring, right? We can combine your hardcore stuff. You get stuff that you're sure that are going to work, but you have to take your bets if you want to be ahead of your competitors. And I would like to believe that by now, you're looking at this slide over here, you're looking at the previous one, and you should be fairly convinced that this architecture is enabling what I'm set to enable for Preply. That's all I have for today. Thanks for having with me. Please, I would love to meet you, to talk to you after, or please hit me on LinkedIn. Thank you very much.